Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show. This week on Outdoors Delmarva.
The Eastern Shore is home to all sorts of fur-bearing critters and a tradition of trapping.
Yummy, huh?
We're headed to an event where anxious youngsters are learning age-old skills. Then, these aren't just the area's top dogs, they're the best in the country. We'll spend some time at the Master Nationals competition to see these remarkable retrievers. Plus, deer hunters are getting ready for the most popular seasons yet. We'll meet the guy who's getting his camera ready for the hunt too, and get some pointers on filming your own memories in the field.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
Nice fish! She is on video, okay? We have the female on surveillance.
Hi everybody, and thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. We'll be checking in with my partner, Captain Willie Dykes, in just a few minutes. Well, we're starting things off in the cabin this week. Good to be inside, but well, the reason for it is because, even with some of this beautiful fall weather, we do tend to have a couple of these rainy, cloudy days out there. Unfortunately, knocking some of those beautiful fall leaves to the ground just a little bit early and maybe interfering a little bit with those early deer hunting plans. But either way, there is a lot going on this time of year as we prepare for those deer and early waterfowl seasons. And maybe no place is busier than up in Dorchester County, where there have been some big outdoor events recently. One of them, you could say, had some youngsters in a foothold as they took in some trapping tradition. Unless you're actually looking for the Thundera 4-H Center near Hurlock, Maryland, you probably wouldn't find it.
What I'm going to try to show you here today is a few fur handling techniques.
Ironic then that this hidden gem is playing host to a youth trapping education day, in part aimed to teach the age-old techniques of being stealth.
Most of these kids are new to trapping. We're introducing it to them. They're here to learn about it. A few of them come from trapping families.
It's true. Trapping is one of those outdoor activities that tends to draw mixed reaction. But there's no doubt it is necessary for controlling populations of animals that can be both destructive to land and very prone to disease.
I set a few traps along this creek.
Not to mention the story we aired last year where we trapped dozens of muskrats and a few raccoons out on a Talbot County salt marsh was one of the most popular stories we've ever shown. And it continues to rack up thousands of views online.
So the meat has value. It's a big thing on the Eastern Shore.
It goes back generations, many hundreds of years. This is our way of passing it on to our next generation. Hopefully they'll take it up and run with it and continue on in the future.
But a trapper's art is often misunderstood.
All right, I'm going to hang them by one leg.
Probably because if you didn't grow up with it, there's almost no chance you'll end up doing it or ever completely understanding it. At this event, sponsored by the Maryland Fur Trappers Association, the mystery isn't the only thing being sliced away.
Here's the rear end. I'm going to start by the tail.
And we'll get back to that in just a minute.
I always go by the KISS system, which means keep it simple, stupid.
But first, the kids in attendance here are learning about the equipment and skills they'll be using when they head out into the field. From scents used to lure the desired animal close.
So for instance, a beaver is attracted to?
Beaver is usually attracted mostly to beaver castor lure, which is the scent of the beaver itself. The castor glands ground up and made into a lure.
To the different snares and traps. And most interesting, what makes them so effective.
This is a newer type trap on the market. This is used for trapping coons. It is called a dog-proof trap.
How does that work?
That works. You stick this into the ground. You put marshmallows or some type of fish bait into this. It's set like this. He puts his foot into it, and it fires the trap off.
Okay, they all have a snare lock. It's when it closes, it locks down on the animal, means it only goes one way. Remember, his head goes through, and he hits it here on his chest. And when that happens, it goes just like that. See how that fell right on him? These are a retaining snare. They hold that animal until we come back to take him out. We can either take him out or we can dispatch him on the spot.
Put it right here.
And you know what? I made up a trap set. One day, I said, Papa, why don't you put a chicken egg in that hole? And you know what?
What?
Gone the next day, we caught a fox.
You did?
Yep. We caught a fox.
You showed him, didn't you?
While some of the younger kids already seem to have some of the best trapping stories, others here are still brand new. So when the skinning demonstration begins using a real raccoon,
Yummy, huh?
you'll still find a few squeamish faces.
Remember, if you're going to be a trapper, this is part of it.
But after a few minutes, they're already starting to understand that processing what you harvest is all part of the deal. And for a trapper who knows how to do it right, a quality fur can translate into money on both the domestic and foreign fur markets.
And today we're doing raccoons, so I thought I'd bring one to show you like one of the things they do with raccoons.
I caught one of those.
You did? Yeah, nuclear plant.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. So this is some of the stuff they're doing with your fur.
I made a raccoon trap. It's connected to this tree, so it's got a nice anchor, and then it'll get caught through. Then when they struggle, it's gonna go like that.
For the youth, it's been a day of discovery and adventure. So what's next? Could we someday be following them into the unforgiving marsh to check the trap line? Maybe we're looking at the next skinning champions at the Dorchester County National Outdoor Show. Or maybe we're just seeing a bright future for local trapping tradition.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Well, the Maryland Fur Trappers Association has both its own website and a Facebook page if you'd like to learn more. Make sure to like Outdoors Delmarva on Facebook for those links and much, much more. Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, the best of the best are in town as these remarkable retrievers compete. And we've got a view of this canine battleground from Chopper 16. But first, did you know? Muskrats are semi-aquatic mammals that spend a lot of their time in the water, but they do construct shelters to keep them dry. What are these shelters called? The answer when we come back.
Outdoors Delmarva is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
I love every animal I catch, okay? And I appreciate what God's given me. So everybody always remember that. Okay, if you're gonna take an animal's life, then use it to the full extent.
Did you know? Muskrats may spend most of their time in the water, but the shelters that keep them high and dry are known simply as houses.
They build it for shelter. They have their young in it. They raise their young. Industrious little animals.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. You know, nothing stands out like a crowd, especially when the view is from Chopper 16. So when hundreds of the country's top dogs gathered in Dorchester County recently, we checked out the action from both the air and the ground. Dorchester County has gone to the dogs. Lots and lots of dogs. Selected as the host of the American Kennel Club Master National Event for 2011 was the 440-acre Anatidae Farm located in Rhodesdale, Maryland, near Vienna. You can see from Chopper 16 just how large a place it is, and they needed every inch of it for this special 4-day event.
This is the largest retriever trial ever held in the United States.
This is the largest. It's well over, we're close to 570 some odd dogs.
You got Labradors, you got Chesapeake Bay Retrievers, you got Golden Retrievers, you got Flat Coat Retrievers, you got one standard bred poodle.
This is Viva, the Princess Viva.
dogs and handlers from all over the United States will be participating. According to the vision statement of the Master National Retriever Club, the event is committed to the hunting tradition and is devoted to the promotion, breeding, training, and the best interests of retrievers. These master hunting dogs have a full year to qualify for an event like this and are tested annually in a non-competitive manner.
They run against the standard set by the AKC and the Master National Club. Okay. It's not a competition against each other.
And that AKC standard is what is of importance here. To obtain the maximum of the standard will be such a utilization of terrain, bird placement, and natural conditions so as to provide a significant challenge to the abilities of a master hunting dog.
Basically, you're testing memory. It's multiple marks. So when it's simulating a hunt, you got multiple gunners, so multiple birds are being shot, and we're testing their memory. That's called a blind retrieve. So when you're hunting with multiple people, marks are going down, the dog is going out to retrieve them, but there'll be marks that also drop where the dog doesn't see it. So now he's got to trust you to tell him exactly where to go, and you're supposed to handle him by sitting him on a whistle and then giving him hand signals.
Watching these dogs work in such beautiful conditions as we had on the day of the filming was a treat to behold.
It's all about the dogs. It's about letting the dogs do what they were bred to do. And that's where we get their enjoyment.
Bringing the event to Maryland was an undertaking all its own and a boon to our local economy. And we at Outdoors Delmarva had a pleasure just taking in the sights and sounds of this magnificent gathering.
The Master Nationals changes venues each year, alternating between the four corners of the country. Here's to hoping Delmarva will host this huge event again in 2015.
Still ahead on Outdoors Delmarva, he's a hunter with his sights on the perfect shot. We'll get some pointers on capturing memories on camera. Plus, don't miss this week's Scorchy's Corner Classic.
Scorchy's Corner Classics are sponsored by Hook'em and Cook'em Outfitters.
We hike to the nesting structures through soggy marsh and bramble, all the while under siege by fierce greenhead flies.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. Well, obviously putting together a TV show each week, we do a lot of filming and we use some pretty decent gear. But you don't have to be super high tech to achieve some pretty super results of your own. And recently I met up with a local hunter who has some tips for becoming your own one-man film crew.
This one here was a January hunt 2009. This was an 8-pointer that came out with 5 other bucks.
Bobby Stipe has a ton of deer hunting stories, from big bucks with big racks to the trips where he just wanted to put some meat in the freezer. But the best part about it all, well, he's got most of those stories on tape. Actually, DVD.
Well, I've been doing this 6 years now, and every year I record the whole season. And at the end of each season, I plug the camera in a DVD recorder, and I do every year from 2005 to last year. And you know, I do the little video picture thing here with the computer and paint shop, and I go to the local drugstore and they do the 5x7s for me. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I just enjoy doing it.
In less than 3 weeks, archery season in Maryland opens up for white-tailed deer. And I'm real excited that it's finally coming.
For the past few years, while hunting his regular spot in Somerset County, Bobby has made his video camera as much a part of his arsenal as his muzzleloader or crossbow. And these days, he doesn't get in his tree stand without it.
This is the first one I started using 6 years ago. I mean, anybody can do this. It just locks on like that. And my back is usually to the tree. And I have the camera like either side of me, left or right. The arm could go up and down any direction you want. And like I say, it's a hands-free operation.
Now, in the beginning, it was Bobby's way of showing others what he was seeing in the field when he was all by himself. Now, it's become a passion.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just like any other deer hunter. I like an occasional big buck on the wall, and you know, I like to take a couple for the freezer. But most of the time, like, I don't even pull the trigger. I mean, I just pull the trigger on the camera, and that's what I just love to do. And I can't wait to get home in the evening, you know, plug it into the DVD and sit there and watch it, what I've done that day or that evening.
Now, just like anything else, it takes some practice to get things just right. And there will be some miscues when trying to film and hunt all by yourself.
I think I missed.
But with enough hours in the field, Bobby has found a way to make it all work. And for him, it isn't work. It's just fun. And a way to preserve his outdoor memories for a lifetime.
First deer of the season, and I haven't reviewed the tape yet, but I think I might have got a decent shot on video again, which is what I strive to do.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
And now it's time to check in with an old friend. Here's this week's Scorchy's Corner Classic.
Thanks to the thoughtfulness and caring of the U.S. Navy, there's a great blue heron heaven in the Chesapeake. At precisely 9:30 a.m., courtesy of the U.S. Navy, they dropped in. Our purpose was to check the successful man-made great blue heron nesting structures erected by Larry's group in late 1983.
You will see later on that there's not much habitat here for them to develop their nest on.
We hiked to the nesting structures through soggy marsh and bramble, all the while under siege by fierce greenhead flies. We found that 6 of the original 17 structures had survived. Some had succumbed to wintry gale force winds, others to vandals. 59 nests had been built on the remaining structures, producing 177 young. As we watched, one of the youngsters took its very first flight. Scorchy Taws, one in our Delmarvelous land, for WBOC News.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we're heading to a local golf course, but you can keep your clubs in the bag. All you'll need is your trigger finger.
Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Oh.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. A Chopper 16 recently took part in a golf tournament for the Dorchester County Chamber of Commerce, and one of the holes had something special for the outdoorsman. It was a beautiful day at a River Marsh golf course at the Hyatt Regency in Cambridge. Our task was to drop these numbered golf balls from our Bell Ranger 200 feet below to a pin on the golf course, and whoever's ball gets closest to the hole wins a prize. After Chopper Chuck judged the wind and distance, he fired for effect. We were, however, eager to land to check out a unique feature to this golf tournament.
Good morning, how you doing?
Golfers arriving at hole 17 were given an option of shooting clays to get a better score.
You each get 2 shots. If you break 4 of those 8 targets, you get to take a stroke off your score. Okay.
If you do not break 4, if you break less than 4, you have to add a stroke to your score. This is voluntary.
I'm in.
You want to try it? Let's try it. What the
Hold
heck?
on, I'll help you with it.
God bless Cowboys.
Yes.
A little pressure off you.
That's it.
Yeah, you only have to get 1 out of 2. Last guy had to get both of them. Sorry guys, got to add one.
It was fun though. We're gonna make it okay.
And if there's such a thing as golfer's optimism,
got it.
This group had it.
Nice.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we've got some viewer venture cam video from the Seagull Century Ride. This first-time participant shares his trip. Plus, your latest viewer pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by Shorts Marine. Don't go anywhere. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back. Outdoors Delmarva is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice.
And now it's time to take a look at some of the pictures and videos sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers.
And we begin with some viewer venture cam video sent in from last week's Seagull Century Ride through Wycomico and Worcester counties.
As of 2 weeks ago, I had never been on a road bike.
Chris Alexander from Salisbury and his wife Misty are riding the metric century, or about 62 miles.
We were at the last rest stop. Chris had a bike down, had to get a new chain.
Life's good, new chain, ready to go.
And Chris shows us what it looks like to reach the finish.
Third phase, we powered through it. Here we are, baby. Woohoo!
Brian Lewis from Centerville, Maryland overcame some even greater difficulties. Brian is battling stage 3 colon cancer, and this is his first century ride. Oh, we want to say congratulations to Brian. Keep on fighting. Will Kennington from Salisbury harvested this nice Sika deer stag with his bow last weekend. Will's dad, Corey, tells us the stag came right in after falling for a bugle call. Paul Bianco from Chestertown is a marksman, as proven here. Paul writes, I was able to take a few squirrels with my Sig Mosquito. That's a .22 caliber pistol. Paul says you can sneak right up on them this time of year. Brian Node from Fruitland was fishing with Captain Bruce Wooten on Johnson's Lake in Salisbury this week when he hooked up with this 9-pound, 4-ounce largemouth bass. And Dorothy Dempsey from Dover, Delaware, spotted this bald eagle on a rooftop and in a tree during her travels to Pickering Beach. Well, we love sharing your outdoors videos and pictures here on the show, so please keep them coming. Just email me at mparker@wboc.com or make sure to like us on Facebook. And you can post your pictures right on the Outdoors Delmarva Facebook page. Well, we had a great time this week and can't wait to have another round of adventures next time.
That's right, Mike. For Mike Parker, I'm Captain Willie Dykes, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.